Good afternoon, and welcome to our first episode of Living with a Leukodystrophy. I'm your host, Carol Cross, and we're broadcasting live here in the studio in my living room to bring you a special program in recognition of the month of September being Leukodystrophy Awareness Month. So we are going to be interrupting our regularly lived daily life here and bring a very short segment to you called Living with a Leukodystrophy. Now, this show cannot be complete in any way without our very special guest here that I have in the studio with me, Miss Laura M. Cross. She is an individual living her life with a leukodystrophy, and so she's going to be talking over the next month about what it's like to live with a leukodystrophy. So please join me in welcoming Miss Cross to the studio today. Hello, Miss Cross, and welcome. We're very glad to have you. I have you every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. But we're very glad to have you right here, right now, in the studio with us for Living with a Leukodystrophy. Hello, and how are you today?
Fine.
You're fine. This is good. Yes. And how long have you been living with a leukodystrophy, Miss Cross?
Since birth.
Since birth. So over 2 decades you've been living with a leukodystrophy. That's a long time. You have a lot of experience living with a leukodystrophy. So that's wonderful. So we are going to be from time to time asking Ms. Cross some questions, and she's going to describe what it's like to live with a leukodystrophy. We may take you with us on outings that we do and things that we do just with, the day-to-day kind of living with a leukodystrophy. But we'd be really interested if you have some questions that you'd like to ask Ms. Cross about what it's like living with a leukodystrophy, to please feel comfortable leaving those questions in the comments, and we will try to get as many of them answered as possible. So I think we'll end the session today, our episode today, with a question for Ms. Cross. So Ms. Cross, if you could describe what living with a leukodystrophy is like in just one word. There are probably many words, but if you could just pick one word, what would you pick to describe what it's like to live with a leukodystrophy?
Fun.
Fun. Okay. So that might be a word that's surprising to our viewers, that you would pick the word fun, that would describe living with a leukodystrophy. Could you elaborate and explain what about living with a leukodystrophy is fun?
Surprising people with what I can do, not with what I can.
So surprising people with what you can do, not with what you can't do. So that is a lot of fun, to surprise people. And a lot of people tend to think like maybe that you can't, like understand them or something like that. Is that how it feels sometimes? So then when you talk to them, they're surprised. Very good. Well, thank you, Ms. Cross, for that interesting glimpse into living with a leukodystrophy. Thank you for being on the show today, and we look forward to having you again as our guest here in the studio.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, this is your host, Carol Cross, and we will see you next time. Have a great day, and try to say hello to somebody today who has a leukodystrophy.